Good morning, YouTubes, and how is everyone today? You join me on a bit of a changeable day. Actually, I left home probably about 10 minutes ago. And it was absolutely pissing down, but there's a little bit of dryness in the road at the moment, so yeah, it's a bit changeable. Anyway, just a quick video to let you know what life with the i3 has been like for the last, I don't actually know how long I've had this car now. When did I get this car? When did I buy this car? May? And we're in June now. It might have been April. Anyway, I've had it probably 2-3 months, something like that. But I've done 2,000 miles, believe it or not. So I thought I would just give a quick update about what the real world life is with an i3. In my opinion, as someone, this is my first electric car, always had petrol cars, and when I bought this car I also owned a Porsche 911, which I've now sold because I wasn't using it. So that probably gives you an idea of the way this video is going to go. I'm definitely not, what do they call them, evangelists, whatever it is. I'm definitely not one of those. I'm not going to preach to anybody about electric cars and whether they're good or bad for the environment. I'm not even going to get into that, because there's so many calculations you see about carbon. You know, when the car hits carbon neutral or carbon positive after so many miles compared to a petrol car. Well, there's so many variations in that. Do you use your car in town? Do you use it on the motorway? The petrol or diesel car you've had, does it do 20 to the gallon? Does it do 70 to the gallon? It's an impossible calculation. It's going to be different for every single person. I mean, my Porsche did 22 to the gallon, so obviously I'm going to be quids in driving this. But if you've got a petrol or diesel car that does 60 to the gallon and you only drive on motorways, then you're probably not, because the cost of refilling one of these with electricity on a motorway is stupid price. But anyway, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, because that's a whole different video, and I'm not even going to make one, to be honest. I can't be asked. If you look at an electric car, then you're going to be, you know, hopefully smart enough to do that yourself and work it all out. But things I know people do a list of 5 things I love, 5 things they hate. I couldn't be asked to think of 5. And I only decided to do this video about a quarter of an hour ago, when I need to go pick up a screen to make something for one of my motorbikes. Excuse me. So I thought, you know, I'll chuck the camera in the car and have a chat. So, BMW i3. This is a 2021 car, so it is just on 3 years old, and I bought it with 17,500 miles. I did do a video when I bought it, but I didn't know what all the buttons did. I just jumped in like a typical bloke. But I've now worked out what everything does. So what are we on mileage wise? We are just coming up to 20,000 miles. So yep, I've done 2,000 miles in this. Things I love about it. I love the car. It is so quirky. It is a concept car that they actually made with very little changes to the concept when you see it. I love the dash. I wanted this trim. I wanted the Lodge interior with the eucalyptus, and I wanted the Harman Kardon stereo. They were the 2 things that I wanted. The quirky colour was nice, and I got a gold one, galvanic gold. Love that. You know, it really does sort of pop in the sun, and it does look good. It's very easy to drive, especially around town. You know, it is they call it single pedal driving, because the regenerative braking on this, which is where it puts power back into the battery pack when you lift off, using the energy of the car moving forward in effect. So it feels like you're braking. It's non-adjustable, and it is quite harsh. It takes a little while to get used to, but once you're used to it, it's absolutely bang on. It is one pedal driving, to the point where probably once or twice a week I do use the brakes quite hard, just to give them a bit of a scrub and keep them looking good. Not looking good, but rust free, if you like. I like the dash. It's nice and simple, tells me everything I need to know. I like the display. I was lucky to get one with a large screen because they did go through a phase where, if you remember COVID, not so long ago, there was very little in the way of chips from wherever they were making them. So there you go, look, one pedal. So some cars came with a smaller screen, which would have been a bit of a pain, to be fair. But for me, this does, I did reset it because I am not on my usual route. My usual route commuting is down the motorway, which isn't the best thing for electric cars, as everyone knows. They like to be on, you know, A and B roads, in effect, you know, just pooting around doing this sort of speed. And my car is returning 4.6 miles to the kilowatt hour. Now, in layman's terms, a kilowatt hour is how much a device would use in kilowatts in 1 hour. If that makes sense. Same as a car does so many miles to the gallon, a electric car does so many miles to the kilowatt hour, or to the kilowatt. And this, on this journey, is returning 4.4, so that's 4.4 miles to the kilowatt hour. Now, when I charge at home on the Octopus, whatever the scheme's called, Electroverse, well, I think that's a card. You can look it up. Octopus Go. Oh, I don't know. I pay 7.5p per kilowatt hour. Some smart EV person's going to correct me on this, but anyway, think of it as a gallon. I pay 7.5p per that unit of electricity. And at the moment, that unit of electricity will take me 4.6 miles. So in effect, that is 2p per mile, roughly, in fuel, be that electricity, be it whatever. Now, that's pretty bloody good. If you put that into car perspective, I think I looked at fuel last night, and it was like £1.50 a gallon. No, sorry, £1.50 a litre. Now, if this does, I'm trying to work out which way I'm going with this calculation now. This does 2p per mile. So if you divide that £1.50, that's 75p. Oh, no, sorry, 75 miles per litre. Would that work out right? Yeah, I think that works out right. So effectively, this car does 75 miles per litre of fuel, cost-wise, 4.6 litres to the gallon. So that's 360 miles to the gallon, in effect, something like that. This is off the top of my head, and I'm probably wrong, but I'm sure someone can correct me. And that is a very rough estimate. So economy-wise, it's unbeatable. It costs me nothing. It's negligible. I haven't even noticed my monthly direct debit going up for my electricity.
Please turn right in 400 yards and continue to follow A28 towards Canterbury.
I'm running the sat-nav in the car on this. I'm also running the Google version for Google Maps in the phone holder.
Now turn right.
Just to give it a different option. But the sat-nav in this is pretty crap. That's one thing I don't like, the sat-nav. It's a bit rubbish because it works on real time, but I think you've got to pay for it. So yeah, use Google Maps. That's what everybody does. Well, I'm getting a notification, someone's at my door. That's a motorcycle tyre for my trusty rusty thing of beauty that is a 250 RS. That's another video. Hopefully Posty will leave it. Other things I like about this car, the performance off the line is awesome. I reckon, and I've said this to people, because obviously I had the 911 at the same time as this, I reckon this was as quick to 30 as the 911, if not quicker, because obviously you had to get a 911 off the line, you know, with a manual gearbox and clutches and what have you. You're messing around with that. This, you just press the pedal and it is instant torque. And I know that's the same with all electric cars, but once you've had that instant torque, it is quite addictive, and that is a good reason why people complain about the tyres wearing quite quick on these cars because they're skinny little back tyres. They're a weird size. They're quite expensive, and obviously you're putting a lot of torque through them. I think horsepower is like 175 horsepower, something like that, which is, you know, that's all right for a car this size. It's certainly respectable enough. I mean, my wife's got an Alfa Romeo Giulietta Turbo, and that's 175 horsepower. Don't know what it weighs, but yeah, this is nippy. Another thing I like about it, I like the way that people look at this car in a weird way. I mean, there was a girl at work looked at it. She's probably in her 20s, and she said that's like something from the space age. It's like something from like the future, and yet this car was designed in 2013. I think that's when the first you know, prototype, concept, whatever you want to call it, I think that's when it was announced, 2013. I'm sure someone will correct me. So it's over a decade old, but it still looks absolutely fresh. I think they got the styling bang on. I have seen people change a couple of bits with the dip, where the rear window dips at the back and then raises back up again for the front door window. I've seen people put black across the length of that to try and give it a flat line, and I'm not sure about that. I like it as it is. I like the quirkiness. The seats, my back's not particularly great, and the seats I find are just so comfortable. I mean, they're skinny little things. When you actually look at the side of the seat, the side profile, it's like that. But whatever they've done to them, it's almost like they got Volvo to design the seats. If you've ever driven a Volvo or a Saab, say, you'll know exactly what I mean. It's like they got the Swedes to say, make us a comfy seat, and they went, yeah, okay, and then they did, because they're spot on. What else do I like? I like the cruise control, believe it or not, the adaptive cruise control. Some people don't like it, and I've heard a lot of flack about it, but do you know what, let's traffic jam assist, I don't want that. Today, have I gone completely blank? I've either gone blank or it's not working. Let's forget that. Why isn't that doing that? I don't use the cruise very often. Oh, that's because I pressed the wrong button. Cruise control ready. Of course, I pressed the wrong button. Right, so let's set it. We set it for 36 miles an hour. Actually, we'll set it a bit more than that. Let's set it for 46 because the traffic is doing more than 46. Now I can lift off the pedal, and what it will do is it keeps me a steady distance to the car in front, which is absolutely spot on. It works on the motorway, it works on A roads, it works whenever you want it. When the sun's in your eyes, sometimes it doesn't work, it doesn't like that. But 9 times out of 10, it works perfectly, as you can see now. If the car in front of me starts doing more than 46, then it won't work. It will start obviously hold me at 46. Now you can see people slowing down in front, and are they slowing down and stopping? So right, my foot isn't on the pedal, but the car's slowing. That van's turned away. Cars start accelerating, and the car accelerates with them. You can see the speed go up if you can see that. So yeah, I like it. I really do. I think it works really well. It works well on pretty much all roads. Let's back the speed down because we're actually just going to do a 40 limit. Works pretty much on all roads. Let's turn it off. Go away. Yeah, really pleased with that. What else do I like? It's difficult to say things you like because I like the whole car. Sound system is great. The Harman Kardon, really impressive. It sounds really good. It doesn't have a sub, but whatever's in the dash there is as good as a sub. It's probably their version. Works really well. I suppose I should go on to things I don't like. One gripe, and it's a small gripe, A-post. It's quite big. There are times when you do have to move your head from side to side just to make sure there's nothing sitting in the shadow of that A-post. That's one thing. Rear doors are love-hate. Now I love the fact that, right, I know Google's taking me this way, so I'm going to go with Google. I love the fact that the rear door is what they call a suicide door. which I'm sure you all know what that is. You open the front door hinges at the front.
Follow the road for 1 mile.
Yeah. The rear door hinges at the rear, so the doors open up like a barn door. Love that. However, if you're parked in a car park and it's quite tight, you end up sandwiching yourself between the two doors if you want to get something out the back of the car. And if you want someone to get in the back of the car, you're both sort of squished in that gap, shuffling around to get in and out of. It's like an airplane toilet, you all know what I mean. It's yeah, it's not fantastic, but looks wise, all that sort of stuff, love it. But practicality, not so great. But then, how many times do people get in the back of these? For me, almost never. I normally throw a bag in the back, so that's the only thing. But you can put a bag in the boot. You know, so I'm probably griping about something that is an issue that I'm making for myself. What else don't I like?
Prepare to turn right.
Yes. Right. Slow down there, let these runners go, because they're running in the middle of the fucking road. Jeez. Sorry about that. I say I don't like, this is an unnecessary gripe, because when I bought this car as a commuter, I knew exactly well what my commute is. It's 2 junctions down the motorway. This isn't a motorway car, this is a city car, and as a city
Please
car,
turn half right in 200 yards into Powerfield Lane, and then immediately turn half left.
as a city car, so I'm going to back up. Just let this guy come through here because that's a bit narrow. Yeah, the curb juts in there. I didn't want to stick a wheel up a curb. Yeah, as a city car, it's absolutely bang on. You know, I can't think of anything else that you would want to use this for.
Now turn half right.
Sensibly, but a city car, which is why if you go into London, you see bucket loads of these, as I'm sure
now
you're doing.
Turn half left into Powerfield Lane.
I'm not actually turning anywhere, am I? You see bucket loads of these in London, for a good reason. You know, they're a funky little car, they're well made. Oh, you are kidding me. Oh no, that's all right. It's okay. Let's see where that sign was. Yeah, you see loads of them.
Please follow the road for 1 mile.
Yes. I might have to turn her off actually. But yeah, these are a city car. On the motorway, don't get me wrong, it will do the motorway. It's not perfectly, you know, it's not like driving a big 5 Series or something, you know, a 7 Series, something big and comfy like that. And I've had 5 and 7 Series before. For mile munchers, yeah, they're great, but you pay the price in obviously the size and the cost. On the motorway, this does, I think, about 4 kilowatts. 4 miles to kilowatt hour, something like that. So it's a little bit less economical. But then on the motorway, I don't spank it. I sit at sort of like 65, something like that. In fact, the journey I did to the West Country, I sat at 66 miles an hour on the sat nav, and it was great. And if you only need to fuel up once on a journey, as in refill with electricity, then this will refill in the time it takes you to have a leak and eat your lunch. It worked out fine for me, apart from a issue where I couldn't find a charger at Membry services. But there's another video on that. It's a bit long if you want to watch it. So I don't like that. As in, it's not great on the motorway. But that's not this car's problem. That's the use I put a city car to. It'd be the same if you bought probably a you know, Renault Zoe, or if you're like, you know, if you're a petrol car, smart car. You know, that's not what they're built for. But it will do.
Prepare to turn left.
We're not turning left. I know this road really well. We're not turning left. What else don't I like? I'm trying to think what I don't like. Because I've got to be honest with you, I really love this car. It does everything I want it to do. It's economical, it's cheap. So far it's been 100% reliable. yeah, there's not a lot not to like. There will be people that don't like it.
Please turn half
because
left in 200 yards into Faulkner's Lane.
I think I'm going to work out how do I turn you off.
Now turn half left.
I'll turn you off with that. Go away. Stop root gardens. Thank you. Yeah, the iDrive, once you're used to it, again, is spot on, but I rarely use it. I get in the car, it plays my music, streams it automatically, and away I go. The suspension, as you might have felt there, or not felt but seen there, can be quite hard on bumps. That's one more thing. Suspension's quite stiff, but you know, it's not bad. It is what it is. Turning circle, brilliant. Really small turning circle as you'd expect with a city car. So manoeuvrability. This has got reversing camera and sensors all round, so it's a doddle to park. Seats fold flat easily. One pull of a tag and the seats fold flat, and they do fold flat. Pretty big loading area, flat loading area. I'm trying to think of what I don't like on this car. There isn't a lot. If people said what could you do to change it, a bigger battery, but then everyone with electric cars says a bigger battery. But I never use this car for going around Kent. I never use the battery up, and it charges up on a charger at home overnight. So yeah, that's a gripe that doesn't exist. No, do you know what? I think that's about it. So if you've got this far, or if you've got any questions about i3s and my sort of fairly limited experience, I guess, chuck me a message and I'll see if I can answer your question. This is a giveaway on both sides, but they're sitting in the middle of the road. Okay. So anyway, look, I'm going to go pick up this screen for one of the bikes. It will be chopped up. It was a cheap screen, a very large cheap screen. And here we go. Let's give it a bit of a get it off the line, and then whoa, yeah, that's what we like. It's quick. Right, gents, because it's only going to be blokes watching this. If that's been informative, then chuck us in a like, and there will be some more RSing about adventures coming soon. So take care. I'm going to pick the screen up, get home, start some chopping, and I'll see you all soon. There might be another video on the i3, there probably will be. Lovely little thing it is. And take care, catch you soon, bye.